Happy holidays, everyone. I wanted to do something a little different and just do a video for the tarot part of today's weekly tarot forecast. I actually ended up pulling some cards from the Rose Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. And these three cards came out. I just was basically asking, what do you need to know? So let's flip them over, get this clear and loving guidance for this holiday season and for this holiday week. So the first card is the Thorn, protection, boundaries, and clear communication. Now, of course, take what resonates and leave the rest. I am going to read from the guidebook because Rebecca does a great job of describing the card, and then I'll tell you intuitively any additional messages as I read the card. So the first one is the Thorn. So this is all about protection, boundaries, and clear communication. So if you have been feeling the drama like I have, maybe with family, perhaps this is a message that will resonate with you. So let me read from the guidebook. So it says, the rose is the queen of all flowers. Her soft and often fragrant bloom takes our breath away from near and far. A bridge between heaven and earth, she has the capacity to act as a portal to our true selves and call our soul more fully into our body. She leaves us in awe, allowing us to experience heaven on earth for a very precious moment. But the rose, as you can beautifully see, is not all gentle and soft. In fact, most roses are armored with spiky thorns and prickles of various shapes and sizes. These sharp protectors act like knights defending their queen, clearly setting the necessary boundary and conditions for her to do what she was born to do. I kind of really love that. The thorns are the knights defending the queen. We too are like the rose, okay? So often we don't get taught how important clear communication and loving boundaries are to our relationships. When we're not clear on our needs, when we don't communicate them, when we don't take responsibility for them, it's impossible for others to give us what we need. This often results in a breakdown in the relationship. Is that ringing any bells for anyone? So communicating our needs and establishing our boundaries allows us not just to feel safe, but those we're in a relationship with to feel safe too. This card delivers the message of the importance of clear communication, boundaries, and taking responsibility for our needs. To be clear with others, we must first be clear with ourselves, okay? So you need to get some clarity. And then communicate this, once you get that clarity, to your loved ones and the world. So the questions you can ask yourself are, what loving boundaries are you being called to establish? And how are you being called to communicate clearly to those you're in a relationship with? Now, I will give you a really quick example on how basically, as y'all know, my aunt passed and had her funeral yesterday. And so, it was very sad. And the thing that was hard was I was trying to hold space for my mom, but there was no one holding space for me. And so when we were both just like decompressing and processing, she kind of lashed out, right? She got triggered by something I said, and that in and of itself shut me down. And so I had to take a step back and I had to get clear on, okay, well, what are my needs? What do I need? And so today I ended up being able to tell her, hey, listen, this is why I have a long face. I don't feel good. I need to be able to grieve myself and refill my emotional cup. And she actually understood. She was grateful that I was able to communicate it to her clearly and exert this boundary of, okay, like when this happens, I need time for myself. So I'm going to be in my room. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be slowing down, not telling her to do anything. And she was more receptive and everything worked out effortlessly. So again, take what resonates, leave the rest, but hopefully that helps. So the next card is the anointed. Okay, answer the call, leadership, empowerment, soul gifts. Okay, so usually when I do 3 cards like this, you can do beginning of the week, middle of the week, end of the week. But again, the way that I like to read tarot is also like a story. So past, present, future, right? But I think that this is where we've been. And so if you want to make sure to just really write down your boundaries or really get clear on what you need to communicate, because that is going to be essential if you're one of my chosen ones, if you're one of my visionary leaders, if you're one of my soul fam. You were born to lead. You got to answer the call. That's what this week is all about. So how are you going to answer the call? How are you going to step up? How are you going to be the leader? How are you going to use your soul gifts? This is feeling like this activation power, but we still have to replenish ourselves in order to use that power. That's why the boundaries are so important. Making sense? Starting to make sense? I'll read you what it says. So the anointed. Rose oil has been used to anoint initiates through the ages. Royalty too. Hey. This card is here to herald you into an even more powerful expression of what you came here to be and do. Hooray! All right. It's calling you to step forth into your inner queendom and kingdom, to answer the greatest call of your soul and face your true north. What is that true north for you? Drop it in the comments. What is your true north? Drop it in the comments. To seed even more of what you came here to share, to acknowledge your arrival as the initiate of your life, to shed the external noise that may have been stopping you from being all that you already are, to realize that you've been training for this for a long time, most often for lifetimes. And especially if you're one of my visionary leaders and chosen ones, you have definitely been training for this moment for lifetimes. We're literally experiencing history as we know it right now, right? Okay. The path your soul chooses to walk is one that few have the courage to walk. So you're a baddie, okay? Own it. And you came here for this. You're being led through this. Your soul is ancient. And with every step you've taken in every body you've been planted in, you've gathered a kaleidoscope of gifts that are ready to be shown and shared. I mean, oh my God, are you feeling empowered? You are being called to deeply trust the call that you've been hearing, to lead, lead, lead. The path you're here to pave has not been walked the way you'll walk it, okay? The path that you're here to, if that's any, keep the faith, okay? The path, I'm going to repeat, the path that you are, the path you're here to pave has not been walked the way you'll walk it. And as with all ancient initiates, healers, visionaries, creatives, and leaders, you're just one magnificent thread in the tapestry of life. So go your own way. Trust the road that beckons you forth and always be led from within. How are you being called to step up and lead? Oh my God. So anyway, if this resonates, comment below. If you feel like you're one of my visionary leaders, comment below. I have so many more downloads for you visionary leaders coming up, and I'm really excited to share with you more of those channeled messages in the days and weeks ahead. So hooray! So be on the lookout for that. Subscribe to my Substack if you want to know. Okay. Now you're seeing the story, right? It's like, okay, we had to protect ourselves before we wrecked ourselves so that we can get called up to lead, because that's what we're born to do. So now, after the rain, look at the rainbow, look at the water, look at the peace, silver linings, relief. Oh my God, do I need that? Hope, mercy, it's over. All right, acceptance. All right, let me read this. So there's something very special and sacred about the moment after it stops raining, right? So again, we're being forged right now into the leaders that we're supposed to be. And once we're being forged, we have to remember, right, that the atmosphere has released all that it was holding, and in turn, the earth has been cleansed, replenished, and nourished. That is what 2025 is going to be about. I'm going to be dead ass honest. We might not feel a bunch of this until Mid next year, April's going to be a little bit dicey, but I mean, we'll end the year on a positive note. There also are really beautiful blessings that are coming through for a lot of us visionary leaders and those who identify with being the chosen ones. But things are going to happen. Things are changing. Things are getting cleansed and purged out, right? The universe is helping us, okay? It's a similar feeling to the moment after we stop crying. Those salty healing waters fall. They activate the oxytocin and endorphins, which creates a shift in how we feel. What was once overwhelming now seems possible. And while we may not know it consciously, noticeable growth will soon follow. After the rain, it's all about hope, healing, beginnings, and endings. Emotions are soothed, broken hearts are on the mend, times of trial are over, and mercy can be felt. There's a moment of relief. A new encouraging silver lining can now be made out in the distance. What's been challenging and difficult has or is about to ease up. If you've been going through a challenging time, this card is here to reassure you that the things are about to ease up. You've been through the worst of it, and now hope is here. Thank motherfucking God. These past few weeks, months, or even years have not been straightforward. They've likely asked you to dig deep and endure hardships that have tested you, but now at long last, there are smooth seas ahead. What you've learned and how you've grown can never be taken from you. I'm going to repeat. What you've learned and how you've grown can never be taken away from you. And now it's time to enjoy the warmth of the blessings that life has in store for you. Glorious new beginnings are now possible. So what are you ready to release? And so it's really interesting that this card came up after the leader, but what I really feel like is as you're being forged into the leader that you came here to be, that you were born here to be, that you have been training for lifetimes to be, it's still going to create a little bit of hardship, right? Those growing pains of like learning something new, of adopting a new identity, of embracing your new purpose and destiny, and knowing what you are meant to do and figuring out this new way of operating, right? Sometimes that can be a little bit difficult and frustrating, but those hardships are not going to be permanent. It's forging you into the leader that you're supposed to be so that you have this release, so that you finally feel safe, so that it all clicks into place, so that you see how all the pieces came together, so that you're not suffering, so that you're not struggling, so that you're not in this nonsense anymore. You see? So you're getting out of this by forging yourself into the person you were born to be so that you really feel this relief. Does that make sense? Own your purpose. Like, embrace your destiny. Just accept the fact that you are special. You were born to be here for a very special reason. You were born to lead. So now is the time to do so. All right? Comment below. Let me know what resonates. Of course, take what resonates and leave the rest, right? And I'm going to do more of these videos in the coming weeks so that you can really get some clear and loving guidance as we move forward into 2025. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next Substack. I love you.